Hey everyone, Marco from Viking MTG here. Here I have a giant overstock uncommon box that I bought in a collection. Going through it, it's mostly commons. Went through a bit here. Bit there. I was gonna go through this whole thing on video, but that last collection that I had, which was less cards than this, geez, that thing I think that video ended up being like 48 minutes. So I'm just gonna kind of go through here and every now and then stop and pull out the cool stuff to show you. So this stuff right here is 4th edition and revised, that type of stuff. The cool thing was, I'll look through a little while later and show everyone, is some of these cards are the alternate 4th edition. If you don't know what alternate 4th edition is, I will fill you in on that. But for now, I have a million cards to go through, and my fingers are already kind of sore, so see you in a bit. One thing that I found pretty cool already is, here's a normal power leak, and then a miscut power leak. You can see that how they line up there. This can't really see there, but there's way more cut off on this one than this one on the side. This particular one I think is a alternate 4th miscut, which makes it really cool. So the way that you can find alternate 4th is, I don't have another 4th edition card for reference here because I think that other one is also an alternate 4th. So I have a more modern card here, and this is the back here. This is the old one. I don't know if you can tell in this camera, but the ring around where it says Magic the Gathering, that would be this thing right here, is a lot more purple. There's actually a little bit of a difference feeling in the cards too. They feel there's just not as glossy, I guess. There's usually a lot of edge damage on these alternate 4th cards too, due to the printing process that they were made in. Just going through some of this stuff, you can really see the difference in printing on some of it, like right here. These cards are both from 4th edition, I believe, and just look at the difference in how the white was printed on these two. So that would lead me to suspect that this one might be an alternate 4th. So we're going to go look at the back, and that ring looks kind of purple. Again, here's our control card here. It definitely looks more purple, so good possibility that it's an alternate 4th. It's got the wear right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside and look later. You can say from going through this so far, I have found a ton of Mirrodin stuff in here. That seems to be the most abundant thing in here. Mirrodin and a lot of like original guild pack type stuff. A lot of like the old Urza sets as well. There was a binder with all this too. I'll go through that last because that had a lot of really cool stuff in it. What's there? Circle Protection Green. Check that out. Make sure it's not an alternate. Well, here's the box at the moment. Did some damage in there. Still kind of working on it, so we're getting there though. Okay, so I made it through the entire box, and now I sort of just put everything that was of value in this pile and I'll go through it. So we got a few Chromatic Spheres, a Funeral Charm, Sakura Tribe Elder. Probably just gonna say the more expensive ones here, but I mean a lot of this stuff is like $1 or $2 here and there. A lot of the artifact lands. Some Mind Stones from Weatherlight. A bunch of different Seething Songs. A few Molten Rains, a Dimir Signet. Some old tokens, I thought those were really cool. They don't make tokens like that anymore. Some neat slivers here, more Molten Rains. A whole lot of them actually. Cabal Rituals, I think those are like $1. Grinding Station's like 3 or 4. But the best thing in the entire box that I found, which whoever had this box must have been confused because some of the older sets don't have the rarity guide on them. Like they have the logo. I'll pull up the Armaldo cloak for example here. They have a little logo there, but it won't be silver for uncommon or gold for rare. So I found this in there. A nice Sylvan Tutor from Portal. I think it's about a $50 card, and I was thrilled to find this. And then I turned it over. Someone wrote a frickin' I right on there. Just killed me because this card is in light played condition. It's very nice. And then someone frickin' wrote on it. So now it's a damaged card. Probably only worth like 10 to 20 bucks. Just kills me. Just like of all the cards in there that could have been written on, it had to be this one. Yeah. So these 3 stacks are all the 4th edition I found. I've decided I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that because this one's gonna get way long if I go through like every single one of these things to make sure. Like there you go, it's 4th edition. Check the coloring on the back. It's gonna take way too long. That's gonna be its own thing. In the meanwhile though, I have a deck box here filled with rares from the binder that I bought. I did decide to leave out some of them because they were just really like bulk rares that, oh boy, it's really not exciting to see that, but there was a lot of amazing stuff in there too. As you're about to see, I'll just set the camera back up here. We'll go nice and slow with these because we're going to savor every card that's in here because everything in here is pretty great for the most part. So we have a Teferi's Puzzle Box. Dryad Arbor. Second Dryad Arbor. An Urza's Mine. A Howling Mine along with a foil Howling Mine, both from I believe 9th edition. Yep. Good old Blood Moon. A foil Screeching Sliver. It's a great addition to the Sliver Commander deck. Birds of Paradise from 8th edition. Early Harvest from 7th. I don't know if that's worth much. The foil version of it, I guess a lot of people like to collect 7th edition foils. There's a 7th edition Birds. Just a curled foil, Holy Strength. Again, the 7th edition. Collectors might want that. 2 Big Game Hunters. Paradox Haze, and another Paradox Haze, one of them a little damaged. Liliana's Caress, Mind Stone, Temple of the False God, good commander cards there. Another Amigrim, Skittering Invasion, I don't think that's worth much. Ghost Quarter, Hey, they're worth a bit. Circle Protection White from 7th edition. And foil, Not of This World. It was in there, so I guess I'm showing it. Heuristic Study. This is one of the most expensive commons. I believe it's a common. It's out there, and there was 2 of them in there, so that was a pretty cool find. Goblin Recruiter. Go for the Throat. A decent removal spell for any black deck. Kitchen Finks. This was worth more until Ultimate Masters just came out and it plummeted the price. I mean, this one's probably worth more just because it's the original set, but still probably not much. The Sliver Overlord. That's a spendy one right there, because let's look at that ability. Good card. Looks like there's a little bit of crap on there, but hey, that's the beginning of a whole commander deck right there. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so Shattering's free number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and last but not least 8, and that is a foil one. That's worth like $50. The foil one alone. I think these are all like 5 apiece. They're all from Guild Pact. Another big hit right here in Arid Mesa. All these pay 1 life and search lands are worth a ton, and that was in there. I was shocked to see that in there. I didn't see it in any of the preview pictures of when I was going to buy this collection. It was just in there. Great find. Archivist. I don't think it's worth a ton, but it was in the rare book, and I didn't know if it was worth a ton, so it's in the video just because I try to keep most of the bulk rares out. And here's another one, Wooded Foothills. Wooded Foothills. This is another one of the pay 1 life and search lands. They're worth a ton of money. Ancestral Visions. Bloodstained Mire, and yet another one. I had 3 of these lands in here. Pretty much paid for what I paid for everything, so it was a great find. A uniquely foiled Niv Mizzet, the Firemind. This must have been in a special deck that you could buy in a sun, because it's not the typical foiling. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's just really different. It's pretty cool. Remand, good modern staple card. Volcanic Dragon. I don't know. It's probably $1 or something like that. It was in there. Just look at that. Blood Moon, another one. There's 2 of them. Last but not least, a Birds of Paradise from Ravnica. It's actually my favorite Birds of Paradise since I started in Ravnica. So as you can see here, this took quite some time to go through this entire frickin' box. It had to be like 40 pounds of cards. All the rares are laying right there from that binder. Well, not all of them. There's probably another stack of about this tall of this guy right here of just bulk rares that are worth like 25 to 30 cents a piece. This is all the big hit stuff right here. I'll add up the price and post that at the end of the video. Now, as we can see the box, there's a few things laying in there, but I looked through the whole thing. It took for frickin' ever.